Hey guys, Doofy here from Doofy Gaming, and today I want to talk a little bit about The Division and why I believe it is already dead. Now, I'm not going to go on about the glitches, the bugs, the exploits, the hackers, or the cheaters, or the cheesers, because every YouTuber who makes a video about The Division goes on about them. I'm going to be talking about a different reason why I believe The Division is already dead. If you play the game solo, you're pretty much alright, but this is meant to be a cooperative game. This is better playing with other people. And whilst you can solo the game, it gets very boring very quickly. So you need to play with other people to have some fun playing this game. This is where the first problem is. Up until you hit level 25, if you are playing with others who are a higher level than you, then you are going to be a burden. Seriously, you're going to get yourself killed in seconds. Your teammates, they'll run over, they'll revive you, and seconds later you're dead again. So because of this, I actually rage quit playing for a while, because 90% of my playtime was watching my teammates complete the mission whilst I was just lying there dead. And then I finally got to level 25, and I actually started being able to hold my own during a firefight. After I reached that point, it took me about a day, a day of playtime, to reach level 30 and unlock the gear score. A few hours after that, I had a gear score of 170. By this time, I'd actually completed the game completely. Everything. Every mission was completed on every difficulty, every encounter was completed, the base of operations was fully upgraded, and every single collectible, every phone recording, echo, missing agent, everything was done. Me and my friends who I play with, we even got every single achievement and every single Ubisoft reward or badge or whatever it is they call them. We've done 100% of what is possible to do in the game. So we then start running the Dart Zone, and we mastered the Dart Zone. We mastered it to the point that even the Dart Zone is boring. Seriously. And the Incursion, we completed it on hard and challenging so many times. I've lost count of how many times we've done it. And before you ask, yes, before you go mad in the comments, we did it properly. We didn't glitch, we didn't cheese it, we didn't exploit anything. We didn't do that thing where you throw a shield through the fence or whatever it is. We did it right. We run it through the door into the room, take out the 15 waves, and kill the APC. We did it properly. And we still managed to milk it dry. We did it so many times that we started getting repeat gear drops. We got the same gear that had already been dropped previously. We got gear that was being dropped that was worse than the gear we was already wearing. You want something better when you do an incursion. And that brings me on to another point, which is another reason I want to say that the Division is dead. It's the gear, or more specifically the gear score. Now, I've got a setup of my gear. Call it a gear set. I know they've brought out gear sets separately now where you can unlock through the incursion or whatever else. But I have specific sets of gear that I wear that give me certain perks to certain abilities within the game. And I'm sure that most players have as well. So for example, I've got a gear set, or what I call a gear set, that gives me an amazing DPS. I've got one that gives me an amazing score on health, one that gives me an amazing score on my skill power, and a fourth one that gives me a fairly well balanced across all three. My main one, I've actually got two which I use mainly. My main one has a gear score of 204. And my DPS, my stamina, and my skill across the board, they range from 90,000 to 100,000 across all three. It's very well balanced, fairly decent powered as well, and of course it's got the gear score of 204. Now this is where it goes backwards, because I've actually got another gear set. Now bear in mind my 204 gives me 90,000 to 100,000 across all three skills. I've got another gear set with a gear score of just 174. And that gives me an amazing DPS of 150,000 plus. It gives me over 110,000 on health, 110,000 on skill power. My 174 gear scored gear set is better than my 204 gear set. So I always go for the 174. Plus on the 174 gear set, there's better attributes on the weapons. There's better perks on the gear and the guns, and there's better orgs on the gear and the guns as well. They've got more things which are more powerful than the stuff that gets me 204 on the gear score. And I actually find it really funny, that bit, because if I've got a player in the Dart Zone with a gear score of 214 plus, and they see me at my 174, they think that their 204 gear score is enough to take me out. And it's not. Because you shoot me a couple of times, I'll just turn around and shoot you once and you'll be gone. Because with my 174 gear score, I've got that many perks, talents, whatever else with it, built into the actual gear and weapons, that I've got an amazing health. Your shots will just take a slither off my health bar. I'll just turn around and go pop, and if you're not dead, you're very close to it, so I'll just go pop again. It's become so boring. But that's the main reason that I feel that for me as well, the game is dead. And it's because once you enter this so-called infinite endgame, and you find the best weapons and the best gear that you possibly can, you become too overpowered for the game. Explain what I mean a little bit better than that. Now, you know the enemies in this game are bullet sponges. You can literally shoot as much as you want and they're just like, oh, you shooting me, bro? With my 174 gear scored gear sets, what I've made, red enemies with the red health bar, just your standard grunts, I can get rid of them in one shot. Pop. They're gone. The purple enemies, the veteran enemies, 3 or 4 shots. Going up to the elite enemies, even the ones with the gold health bar, the named enemies. The average clip, it's like my main gun, what I use is a first wave Vector. The damage on that is immense. It's got a mag size of 32, I think it is. I can get rid of a gold named elite enemy in less than 1 clip. It depends how good my aim is, but usually I've got half a clip left, and the gold enemy's gone. I've reached that point now where I've got that such good gear that I have become overpowered for the game. The game is no longer capable of challenging me because it's not powerful enough to take me on. And neither of the players in the Dark Zone, well, some of them are, I'll give them that, some of them have got amazing combinations and can dispatch me really quickly, but the vast majority ain't got a chance. So I've reached a point now where finding gears or weapons better than what I already have is extremely, extremely rare. I've actually gave up looking. I've had the same weapons and guns for ages, and I've never found anything better. Even the gear sets, what we got from the Incursion, I think out of all the gear sets, I've got one piece which is actually part of a gear set. The rest is just my own made up gear set that gives me this immense power. And it's because of this that the Dark Zone even the Dark Zone's not a challenge. I will quite happily and confidently walk all the way through from Dark Zone 1 to Dark Zone 6 and just sit there for a while on my own, solo, without worrying. Because I know that there's very few things that can challenge me. Fair enough, I might get a really good player come up and try and challenge me. Fair dues, I'll do whatever you want, we'll have a firefight. And if you can beat me, well done, I'll hold my hands up and say you're amazing. But that's the point. Even with the missions, I can solo the missions on challenging without even trying. The only bit that ever gets me, or that I actually struggle with, is the very first bit of the Warrengate power plant on challenging, where you get about 50 enemies rush at you at the same time. That's the only bit that gives me a bit of trouble on any of the missions. Every other mission I can just solo and just casually stroll through. So we've reached a point now where, like I'm sure so many other players have as well, where the only thing left to do is the daily objectives or daily assignments or the weekly assignments. When these are just craft so much of something, replay such a mission on hard or challenging, kill so many different types of enemies. This is boring shit. Give me something that's going to challenge me. Give me something that I'm going to struggle to do. Not the same shit that I've done 100 times before. And it's not just that. The weekly missions, you get a week to do them. I can knock them out in an hour. And it's something like go in the Dark Zone and kill 50 purple enemies. I just walk into the Dark Zone, walk straight up to a landmark, and it's like pop, 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 pop. Done. It collects 30 tool pieces. I just run around the map. 20 minutes. Done. So there's no challenge to the weekly ones and knock all of them out in about an hour. And then you get your daily objectives. Give me another hour, I'll knock all of them out as well. And let's say, for example, this is on a Monday. I go on, I complete all the dailies and all the weeklies in about 2 hours. I come back on Tuesday, the weeklies are already done. The dailies They're exactly the same as yesterday's. When are they going to update? When are they going to give me something different to do? It's like every day I go on the Division and I play the same 3 missions on hard or challenging for a week. I go in the Dark Zone and I kill the same enemies the same amount of times for a week. When are you going to give me something challenging? And that's if they even update and they reset and you can do them again. Because I've had a few things, and I know other YouTubers have commented on this as well, where the daily assignments do not refresh. And I've had that myself. So I've just logged on, checked them and gone, oh, they're already done. Turn it off. Let's go on GTA. Let's go on Rocket League. Let's go on something else. Hell, let's go on Minecraft, because that's more fun. Actually, take that back. Minecraft is pretty fun. But you get my point. I should probably mention as well that to get to this point, to complete the game and start the end game, and then to reach the point of the end game where even the end game has an end, my total play time is 4 days. So what's that? 96 hours? 96 hours of total play time. And to be fair, 90% of that is me and 3 of my mates stood there doing absolutely nothing, just discussing and trying to decide what we're going to do next. So out of those 96 hours, it's probably more like 10 hours or 15 hours or at a stretch 20 hours to reach this point. 20 hours of gameplay. And then another 80 hours stood round just having a chat with your mates while your character just sits there randomly reloading his gun every now and again because there's nothing else to do. So these are the reasons why the Division is dead for me. So again, the glitches, the exploits, the bugs, the cheaters, the cheesers, I don't care about all of them. It's the fact that after such a short amount of time, the game has dried up. Everything the game has to offer has been done with 0 replayability. There's nothing left in the game to keep me going back on every day because there's nothing new. There's nothing more I can get out of the game. There's no more gear, there's no more weapons. It's done, it's dried up. I am a little bit sad to say because when it first came out, I was really hopeful for this game. I really was. We played the beta when that came out, and that was a weekend. And it's like, you know what? This is going to be amazing. And then we get the actual game, and it's like, oh, the beta pretty much covered everything then. I really, really hope that the updates they're going to do over the next year or so really help to pick the game up. Because at the minute, The Division is a game that has so much potential. There's so much potential they could do with this game, but they're not fulfilling that potential. They're not giving us enough to keep us interested. In all, you know, The Division is a game what myself and the guys that I played it with have put down. We're not going back on it. And we've all kind of reached a mutual agreement, if you like, where The Division is going to sit there, gathering dust, taking up space on our hard drives for about a year. And then a year's time, we might all go back on it. We might see what's new, see if they've beefed it up any, if they've give it some of the potential that it has. And we'll probably knock all of that out in a day and then be done with it for good. Because that's what I'm holding out for this game, that they bring something out that will make me want to play this game. There is so much potential with this game. There's so much. And it's actually really it's a little bit sad that they're not fulfilling it. Because I was really hoping for an amazing game with this. We just haven't got it. So Ubisoft, if you're listening, we want more. Because your game is boring as shit. So it's reached a point now where we have put the game down. And I'm sure most people have reached the same point as me and my friends. I've also put the game down, waiting for the update. So we'll probably come back on when the next update drops, and we'll have a play of it, we'll knock it out in a couple of hours, and then we won't touch it again until the next update. Because that's how it's looking. We may not even touch it until every single update has been brought out over the course of a year. And then we might look at it again. But for now, The Division is a game that we're putting to bed. There's nothing left to keep us entertained. So, yeah, that's enough of me waffling on. This has been Doofy from Doofy Gaming, putting my copy of The Division to bed. And as always, guys, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and if you subscribe, you'll probably see when they do an update. I'll probably be putting that on, see what that's like. And, yeah. Right, On to happier things, let's go and check out some of my other videos.